March 14th, 2005, and the A380 is parked outside the factory here in France. The customers for this plane are technically the test pilots who will fly it for the first time, but there's still a lot of work to be done before it can be accepted. This is Charles Champion, the 48-year-old head of the entire £6 billion project. He's come to check on progress, something he tries to do at least once a week.
Just by going around the plane and by discussing with the people, you actually, first of all, have a feeling of what remains to do, but also you have, I would say, a good feeling of where they are and what needs to be done and what are the critical areas.
At least it's not all bad news.
That's the most important part. The coffee machine for the flight test crew. If this doesn't work, they will never take the aircraft.
Joking aside, it's clear that the plane is far from ready. The landing gear is just one of the things that needs to be finished.
We still have a lot to do. There is a lot of activity. So some of it is related to troubleshooting and other related to closing the area. But we do have a lot of people still working on the aircraft.
The next day, the first customers turn up for a photo shoot. These are the 6 men who will fly the A380 for the first time. Between them, they have 176 years of test flight experience. And within minutes of the last shot being taken, they're in the plane, checking out the new machine. For flight test director Fernando Alonso, it's important to feel comfortable at his post.
This is the place where I will be sitting for the first flight, and it'll be almost my home for the next months ahead. Yeah.
Using a bank of screens and readouts, Fernando will be able to monitor everything happening to the plane in real time.
This screen, for example, it's what we call the flight display. So it shows us the aircraft pitch attitude and bank angle. It shows us the speed, the angle of attack, the altitude, the heading. Then it gives us some information about the engines, of the configuration, flaps and slats, of the fuel quantities, of the autopilot engagement mode. So just by having a glance at that screen, we have a very good overall picture of the airplane.
The aircraft is equipped with sophisticated flight instrumentation. Thousands of sensors that record every aspect of the plane's performance. Gathering this precious data is the primary purpose of the test flight program.
If on the day of the first flight, the flight instrumentation does not work, we will not fly. So it's, I think that sums it up, you know.
But despite the seriousness of the task ahead, there's no doubt the A380 is beginning to generate a real buzz.
It's really great to be here. We've been waiting for it so long, and now we're almost there.
March the 30th, 2005, and the prototype is in the hangar again, as engineers perform final tests. The flight controls are working, but one system still remains unproven. The last set of landing gear tests almost a month ago did not go well. While testing the emergency backup, the wing gear snagged on the door and needed some grease to make it work. Now Simon Sanders is back for a last-ditch attempt to prove that the gear will deploy smoothly. His team have been working round the clock to solve the problem.
This is the ramp on the wing gear door where we put the grease last time. Now for a more robust solution, we've applied a layer of Teflon paint, which is similar to the Teflon, the coating that you have on non-stick frying pans. So this will reduce the friction when we do the freefall. We're going to now perform the test to demonstrate that with this low friction Teflon coating that we've solved the problem.
Gérard Desbois will be on the first flight, and he's here to represent the flight test department. If Gérard is not happy, the first flight will be delayed. This is make or break time.
I want to be sure on this aircraft, before taking the aircraft in the flight test department, that the landing gear is working perfectly well. If it doesn't work, I will refuse the aircraft until this system is completely safe.
As the gear is retracted for the test, everyone is aware that they cannot afford to fail. In the cockpit, the system is primed.
C'est parti, je lance.
Despite the Teflon coating on the ramp, the left wing gear still catches on the door, but at least it slips free faster this time. If the plane were flying, the airstream will probably shake the gear free sooner still. But it's up to Gerard to decide whether he's happy to accept the plane as it is.
It's not marvelous, but it is working, and at least even if the left landing gear is not extended at the same time as the right one, yes, I think I will accept it. Yes.
The team will continue to refine the system, but at least the prototype is close to being airworthy. What the company needs now is customers. With 154 firm orders, they are still 100 sales short of breaking even. But Chief Commercial Officer John Leahy is confident that new markets are there for the taking.
Think about it. In India, there are more people who take the train every day than fly in the entire year. Think about the potential if you've got an airplane that can match the cost of taking a train.
Never want to miss an opening, John has traveled 5,000 miles looking for new customers. With 1/6 of the world's population, hardly any of whom fly, this is the land of opportunity.
You know, there are about 1.1 billion people in India right now. 1.1 billion people. Depending upon how you define middle class, there are more middle class people in India than there are in Western Europe or in the United States. Imagine if they flew, this market would take off.
The first stop on this lightning visit is to meet Captain G.R. Gopinath, head of India's first low-cost carrier, Air Deccan.
Even today, for example, if you come to any of our flights, 30 to 40% of the passengers on my flights on every flight every day are first-time travelers.
30 to 40% of the people on the airplane have never been on an airplane in their lives?
On an Air Deccan flight today, 30 to 40% passengers are first-time flyers. They've never flown in their life. We have a lot of...
Air Deccan have had great success offering budget air travel. But can the A380, a plane that's always been sold as the height of luxury, appeal to a low-cost carrier?
So you probably aren't that interested in the jacuzzi.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
the first-class lounge isn't going to fit into your business model.
That is maybe
But-
Branson's and Vijay Mallya's.
But the range, payload, and the economics are what you're looking for, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Deccan are not ready to order yet, but with 14 million people cramming India's trains every day, an aircraft that could compete in this market should be a hit. Enter Vijay Mallya, the billionaire owner of perhaps India's most famous brand, Kingfisher. Mallya's core business is brewing, but he also has a small airline with big plans, among them the purchase of many new aircraft. With machine gun-toting bodyguards in tow, the two businessmen head for Mallya's yacht to talk turkey over the A380.
I've got two potential Kingfisher specs here. One spec I've got actually has an all one-class interior, which would give you about 860